grasping the fundamental principles of reaching people, you are equipped to enhance your communication skills and navigate the persuasion cycle effectively. With the aid of these impactful tools, you can alter the trajectory of a business venture, close a sale, foster relationships, or make a positive impact on someone's life. The best part? These techniques are quick and easy to implement. By incorporating them into your communication repertoire, you'll be able to connect with people you once believed were beyond your reach. Techniques number 1. The impossibility question, turning can't into can. Introduction. Many things worth doing in the world were declared impossible before they were done. Turning a vision into reality requires getting people on board, but many are held back by can't. The impossibility question is a powerful tool for turning can't into can. What is the impossibility question? A two-part question that moves a person from resistance to cooperation. The first part asks for something that would be impossible but would dramatically increase success. The second part asks what would make it possible. Why is it powerful? It shifts the person from a closed position to an open, thinking attitude. It gets the person to picture the vision as a reality and cooperate in thinking strategically about reaching it. It creates a mental itch that needs to be scratched, compelling the person to answer and move towards considering the idea. How does it work? It mirrors the person's movement, causing them to go off balance and move from resisting or thinking to considering. It doesn't necessarily result in instant buy-in, but it creates traction and sets the groundwork for future progress. It can be used in a variety of situations, including business, creative projects, and personal development. Example. The impossibility question was used with a segment producer on The View who was stuck in can't thinking. He identified something impossible but beneficial for his career, arranging an exclusive interview with Barbara Walters. The question helped him shift his thinking to consider other ways of achieving his goal. Conclusion. The impossibility question is a powerful tool for turning can't into can. By shifting the person's thinking and getting them to cooperate, it creates the foundation for progress and success. Don't let can't hold you back. Use the impossibility question to turn your vision into reality. Techniques number 2. The magic paradox, a powerful technique for effective communication. Introduction. Most magic tricks involve sleight of hand, but the magic paradox is a type of sleight of mind that can work wonders in communication. This technique involves acting as if your goal is the opposite of what you want to achieve. The magic paradox is especially useful when trying to shift someone from resisting to listening and considering. This technique can work in various situations, including business crises and even hostage negotiations. Example scenario: imagine you are arts manager and he is not meeting his targets. You know he's going through a tough time as he is getting divorced, and you want to light a fire under him without pushing him away. The usual approach would be to give him a pep talk, but this might not work. Instead, try empathizing with his negative thoughts. Magic paradox technique: start by acknowledging his negative emotions. For example, say, "I'll bet you feel that nobody understands what you're going through. You're probably upset because you think we're all disappointed in you, and you're dealing with a lot of stuff in your life." By empathizing with his negative emotions, you'll eliminate his mirror neuron receptor deficit, and he'll feel understood and connected to you. The power of yes. The magic paradox works by initiating a cascade of yes responses from the other person. By acknowledging and empathizing with their negative thoughts, you shift their attitude from disagreement to agreement. Once you establish this rapport, they're emotionally primed to cooperate instead of resisting. This technique can work in life and death situations as well, as seen in the example of a deeply depressed woman who tried to commit suicide twice. Conclusion: the magic paradox is a powerful technique for effective communication, and it can help you break through to people in the most difficult part of the communication cycle. By empathizing with someone's negative emotions, you can shift their attitude from resistance to acceptance. This technique is useful in various situations, including business and personal relationships, and it can help you achieve your goals by initiating a positive cascade of yes responses. Techniques number 3. The empathy jolt. Have you ever experienced a conversation with an ignorant blamer? Those who blame and attack others, without trying to understand their perspective. It can be a frustrating and exhausting experience. However, Dr. Rick Kushner discovered a way to turn these conversations around by using empathy. He discovered this approach during a session with the Franklin family. They came to see him because their 15-year-old son Harry was refusing to do his homework, help around the house, or cooperate in almost any way. When they arrived, Harry was sullen and uninterested, and his mother Joan was upset about the situation. Dr. Kushner knew he needed to engage Harry and Robert, Harry's father, without alienating Joan. So, he tried something new. Instead of allowing Joan to list all of Harry's shortcomings, he asked her to put herself in Harry's shoes and tell him why Harry thought the meeting was a waste of time. Joan hesitated for a moment, but then she replied that Harry thought the meeting was a waste of time because all that's going to happen is that Mom's going to lecture him and Dad's going to just go along with it and probably not say anything. And that's just what happens at home. Dr. Kushner then asked Joan how frustrated that made Harry feel, and she replied that Harry couldn't stand it. He continued to ask her what Harry wanted to do as a result, and she replied that Harry wanted to tune it all out and try to get away as soon as possible. Dr. Kushner then turned to Robert and asked him what frustrated Joan most about how he dealt with the situation with Harry, and Robert replied that Joan would probably say he sabotaged her by agreeing on the surface with her, but communicating to Harry that he agreed with him about how over the top she can get. Dr. Kushner then asked Robert what Joan would say that made her feel, and Robert replied that she felt all alone, with everyone fighting her and nobody helping her. At this point, Joan began to cry and said that she hated being such a bitch, but life is about details, and if everybody ignores them, Harry is going to fall through the cracks. Finally, Dr. Kushner turned to Harry and asked him how he felt. Harry replied that he felt like nobody ever listened to him or cared about his feelings. Through this process, Dr. Kushner was able to shift the dynamics of the conversation. Instead of attacking and blaming each other, they were able to understand each other's perspectives and empathize with each other's feelings. This intervention, called the empathy jolt, changed everything. It transitioned Harry from resisting to willing to do in a single step, by changing the dynamics of the relationship. Techniques number 4. Reverse play. The reverse play is a strategy for dealing with an underachiever in the workplace by using empathy and humility to create a shift in the person's behavior. It involves apologizing to the underachiever for the things that you, as their boss or colleague, may have done to frustrate or disappoint them. By taking responsibility for your own actions, you create a sense of trust and empathy that can cause the underachiever to shift out of defensive mode and become more willing to improve. To use the reverse play, you should 1. Arrange a meeting with the underachiever and prepare for it by thinking of 3 specific ways in which the person may be disappointed or frustrated with you. 2. Begin the meeting by acknowledging that the person may be waiting for criticism or confrontation, and then surprise them by apologizing for the things that you think may be causing them frustration. 3. Ask the person if your assumptions are true and what other things may be frustrating them. 4. Listen to the person's response, and then respond sincerely with an apology and a commitment to do better in the future. 5. Stop the conversation once you have apologized and thank the person for their input. Using the reverse play can help to create a sense of mutual respect and understanding between you and the underachiever, and can cause them to shift their behavior in a positive direction. Techniques number 5. Do you really believe that? Introduction: effective communication is key to success in any field. Communication requires the ability to remain calm, especially when dealing with people who go into a tailspin over minor issues. An effective way to handle this situation is by asking the question, "Do you really believe that?" in a calm and straightforward way. This simple question helps to lower anger or fear and shift the power to you. The question, "Do you really believe that?" is a powerful tool in communication. It is particularly effective when dealing with individuals who exaggerate or use hyperbole to express their frustrations. The question helps to recant and restate their position, causing them to realize that they are making a mountain out of a molehill. The trick to this approach is to ask the question in a calm and straightforward way, avoiding any hostile or degrading tone. The intent is not to antagonize the other person, but rather to make them realize the truth of the situation. By asking follow-up questions, it is possible to engage in a productive conversation and shift the power back to you. Conclusion: effective communication is essential in every aspect of life. The question, "Do you really believe that?" is a simple yet powerful tool that can help shift the balance of power in communication. By using this technique, you can calm down individuals who exaggerate or use hyperbole, engage in a productive conversation, and find a solution to the problem at hand. Techniques number 6. He power of whom. Introduction. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone is upset or angry, and you don't know what to say or do to calm them down? The power of whom is a tool that can help you in these situations. This tool can be used to move a person from resisting to listening and then from listening to considering. In this presentation, we will explore the benefits of using him in challenging conversations. 1. The importance of listening. When we are angry or upset, we want to be heard and understood. By using him, we can show the other person that we are listening to them and taking their concerns seriously. This helps to build trust and establish a cooperative dialogue. 1. Avoiding confrontation. When someone is upset or angry, our natural instinct is to defend ourselves and argue with them. However, this only leads to more confrontation and resistance. By using them, we can avoid confrontational language and instead focus on understanding the other person's perspective. 1. Encouraging self-reflection. When we use them, we encourage the other person to reflect on their situation and consider different perspectives. This helps them to move from a state of defensiveness to a more open and receptive mindset. By encouraging self-reflection, we can help the other person to come up with their own solutions to the problem. 1. Building rapport. Using whom can help to build rapport with the other person. When they feel heard and understood, they are more likely to trust us and be open to our suggestions. This can lead to a more productive and positive outcome for both parties.